thank you all both. And I want to go now to Arizona Senator John McCAIN, who's on the other side of the table. Senator, thank you for being with us in the studio this morning. Just give me your reaction to this.
I understand the great joy and happiness of the Bergdahl family and friends, and we're all grateful that he has returned. I think there are legitimate questions about these individuals who are being released and the conditions under which they will be released. These are the hardest of the hardcore. These are the highest high-risk people. And others that we have released have gone back into the fight. That's been documented. So, and it's disturbing to me that the Taliban are the ones that named the people to be released. So, all I can say is that we need to know more information about the conditions of where they're going to be and how, but it is disturbing that these individuals would have the ability to re-enter the fight, and they are big, high-level people, possibly responsible for the deaths of thousands.
The deaths of thousands?
Absolutely. One of them was a chief intelligence person who they killed a lot of Shiite Muslims. These are really the toughest of the tough.
Secretary Hagel was saying that Congress could not be notified ahead of time due to the top secret nature of this mission and the fact that Bergdahl was not in good health.
Well, I understand that, and but the big issue here is what you and I just discussed. Finally, it's a little coincidence that on the day that Bergdahl is released is the day after we found out that the first American suicide bomber as part of Muslim extremist Al-Qaeda blew himself up in Syria, because we got out of Iraq, when we could have left forces behind, and now the Iraq-Syria border is a haven for these people. And the fact is that Al-Qaeda is reconstituted. The bloodiest battle of the Iraq War was the Second Battle of Fallujah. The black flags of Al-Qaeda now fly over Fallujah. This total evacuation, withdrawal from Afghanistan pretends to be another replay of the Iraq debacle, which is now a direct threat to the United States of America. And I do not understand why the president didn't learn the lesson of Iraq, where we could have left forces behind.
What do you make of what David Ignatius just said? He said it is his understanding that Secretary Panetta said no way, no how are these 5 people to be released, but Secretary Hagel has signed off on it.
Well, there was discussions that I heard way back, as far back as 2 years ago, to release these people. There was a bipartisan opposition to that, but obviously what's done is done.
Well, do you think it's some kind of a precedent being set here? Hagel says it's not negotiating with terrorists, it's a prisoner exchange.
I think the big issue here is what's going to happen to these 5 individuals. If they re-enter the fight, then it is going to put American lives at risk, and none of us want that to happen. Not Secretary Hagel or anybody. But if they are able to have, after a year in Qatar, to do whatever they want to do, there's no doubt they'll re-enter the fight. Other ones who have been released from Guantanamo have re-entered the fight.
Let's talk about the Veterans Administration and the scandal over there, which was what we had planned for this broadcast this morning until this big story happened yesterday. So Secretary Shinseki has resigned, but it seems to me there's still a lot of problems to be solved there.
General Shinseki is a great man, a fine patriot who served his country and left part of himself on the field of battle. And I was reluctant to call for his resignation. But it's the fact that they've lost the confidence of the veterans. That's the key to this. And it's unbelievable that for 3 weeks the President of the United States never said a word about it. And it's not just a scheduling problem in the VA. It is, in the words of the Inspector General, a systemic problem. And one of the keys to solving this problem, as I campaigned, if I might say, is to give the veteran the flexibility to get the care that he or she needs at the closest and most available place. There is VA facilities that are unique and wonderful. Traumatic brain injury, PTSD, prosthesis, war wounds, and they're the best at it. But why should a veteran have to get into a van and ride 3 hours to get to Phoenix in order to have a routine medical care taken care of? Why doesn't that veteran have a card and go to the caregiver that he or she needs and wants? And that's the solution to this problem, is flexibility to the veteran to choose their health care, just like other people under other health care plans are able to do. And this is a situation that the president needs to call together the best people he can find. I'd ask General Petraeus. I'd ask Tom Coburn. If there's anybody in Congress that knows more about health care, then Tom Coburn should be the next Secretary of the Veterans Administration, in my view. Call them together and say, in 2 weeks, I want you to tell the American people what we need to do to fix this. We could do that. Instead, the president seems to be blaming it on a scheduling problem.
Well, it seems to me that another thing that needs to be dealt with is these people who were gaming the system, because there were actually people in this bureaucracy who were covering up the scheduling things in order to qualify for performance bonuses. They were doing it to make money out of it. Should they be prosecuted?
This scandal qualifies for a Justice Department investigation, and it should have started some time ago, because clearly there are allegations, and serious allegations, that laws were broken.
And you think, you think that Senator Coburn might be a good person?
I think he'd be the best, and he's going to kill me for saying that.
Senator, thank you so much for joining us.